welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be building a CRUD application using GOLANG for our backend, and we'll be using React.js for our frontend. This will be a web API, and to do that we are going to use JSON Web framework, and we will also be using CompileDaemon. This actually automatically builds our application so that we don't have to manually do it again and again. And we'll also be using GORM. This is a very popular ORM library, as you can see, and it's very easy to use this GORM because everything, the documentation provides us with the code and everything, and we can just copy and paste according to our requirement. We will also be using this go.env so that we can create a .env file and store our password, database connection strings, port number, and a lot of things that might keep on changing time and again. Also, we will be using this Elephant SQL because I don't have Postgres on my machine, but I can get help to generate credentials using this. Okay, now that's all for now. Let's get started. I have a folder, CRUD API. Let's select git bash here and code dot. Okay, we have nothing here, so on our command terminal, okay, just type go mode init. Okay, go mode init and put the name of your project, go CRUD API. Okay, so now go.mode has been created. What this does is whenever we install anything on our machine, it gets stored in here for this specific project. Okay, we'll see that shortly by installing this JSON framework. So this is the code from their official documentation. So copy this, don't copy this $, and paste it here. Okay, we see a bunch of uploads. Now we are going to install CompileDaemon. So copy this and paste it here. So I'd like to tell you something. This CompileDaemon is you can read go get. We're going to use this go get first, and then we're going to use go install, okay, because it needs to be installed also. So I just changed get to install and hit enter. This way we are able to get access to CompileDaemon, and we're also going to click on overview of GORM, and let's copy this link and paste it. Okay, now copy this until slash and paste it, and we will be using Postgres as our database. Okay, it's been added. Now we also would like to install this .env. Let's copy this and let's paste it. Okay, that is all for the installation. Now let's go to our application and add a file and name it main.go. Okay, now inside main.go we're going to add some code snippet from JSON Web framework. You go all the way down, you will see this. Just copy and paste it here. So what this means is that gin.default is creating a router, and we're using this router to get access to handlers function. Okay, this C is the parameter that we will be passing on every function, and this C is a context which is giving reference to gin.context, and using this context C we are able to get access to multiple functions like JSON, param, string. We'll see how we can use param in our update and delete function. So that's all I guess for now. We'll keep on working on this, and let's do like hello world. And instead of /ping, let's just use ping only, and let's save it. Now let's go to our CompileDaemon and see how we can run this application. Here, this is the code. Let's copy this and let's paste it here. And instead of my program, my options here, I'm going to name our project. So go CRUD API. It's going to take some time for sure. So by default, as you can see, the port number is 8080, and we will also see how we can change the port number, how we can store a new port number in our .env file and get access to that. Okay, I think it's up and running. So now let's go to our browser, and in our localhost 8080 is it, and slash. So hello world, we can see the result. Now let's add a file and name it .env. Inside .env, let's type port equals 5000 and let's save it. So on our main, we can either add our .env code, like, okay, here's the code for our .env in this Joho go.env GitHub. So go down just a little bit. Okay, this is the code. We're going to copy this, and we can actually paste it over here right inside the main block, but I'm going to create another function, init. I'm going to paste this. Okay, it needs to import this go.env, so select that and hold your control and dot. That should help us import, and control dot again to import log. Okay, all right. And let's save it. So using this code, so using this go.env.load, it loads this .env file. So whatever we type in this can be accessed from anywhere. Okay, now let's see, it's restarting the given command. Okay, now it's listening and serving port number 5000. So let's go here and let's just refresh it and see. Okay, it's not running on port 8080, so 5000 and slash. Okay, and it is working on port 5000. That's how we access our .env file. Alright, now the next thing we'd like to do is we'd like to create a model. So here let's add a folder and name it models. Inside models, let's add a file and employee models.go. So inside this we are going to add some fields. So we're going to go here on GORM documentation and declaring models. Go down just a little bit and I'll be using this one. So if you read this documentation, if you read this, it means that this is equals to this, okay? Because using this GORM.model, we're able to access these 4 fields: ID, created at, updated at, and deleted at. Instead of manually typing all these 4 fields, we can just use this GORM.model. That's all. We have already copied this, so let's paste it inside our models. Okay, we need to create a function class for that. So instead of creating class, we're going to use struct inside GOLANG. Okay, there's no class. And the other thing we need to import would be package models, because this employee model is inside this models folder, and we need to import GORM. So control dot. Okay, now instead of user, I'm going to do employee, and I'd like to add another field, email, and that's going to be string as well. Okay, that's all for my model. Okay, and let's actually, so we have a model. Now we will also have a controller, but let's see if we want to do it right now or later. Let's actually build a database instead of controller. Okay, so let's create a folder, initializers, and inside initializers we are going to add a file, database.go, and inside this database.go we are going to copy paste few codes. Okay, here, okay, go down. Okay, we need this Postgres, so just copy this, and let's go here and let's do package initializers, because it is inside initializers folder. Now let's create a function. And let's paste it here. Okay, let's import GORM by control dot. Let's also import Postgres. Okay. Okay, so now let's so if you say, now let's create a global database variable. Okay, we can use this DB, but the better approach would be to create a var, and it's DB. We're going to name it as DB. Anytime we need to access database, then we're going from initializers, the folder name, and then DB. Okay, now this DB is referencing to GORM.db. Okay, and let's save it. And this will be db2, because it's going to use this global variable. And this, let's remove this, and it's saying undefined error, so we're going to define this by var error. Now let's check if let's go to our main and let's copy paste. Let's copy this and paste it here. Let's import log. Error connecting to database, and let's save it. Okay, this should actually work, I guess. We haven't done anything much here, and now let's once database is created, let's go to our main.go and here. Okay, now I think it's not very good idea to store this env variable code right over here, because we also need to initialize database connection and other things. So let's make it slightly neat. So let's create a folder and we'll name it, not folder, I'm sorry, inside initializers let's create a file, env okay, package initializers, because it is inside the folder initializers. And okay, make sure you use uppercase, because if you don't, you're not able to use this function in other files. Okay, so I'm going to use this function, copy this, and first of all I need to save it, and inside main I'm going to cut this and paste it in here, and I'm going to use this function instead of this whole code over there. Okay, so to get access to this function, let's fix this error right now. Okay, let's save it, and in order to access to this function we will have to first call initializers folder. So initializers dot get environment variables function. Okay, okay, let's save it. All right, this is okay, fine, working. Now we can close this, we can close database also, and okay, we can close database because we need to put few things over here. This is not what we need, we will be using. So go to your Elephant SQL. So you need to, all right, I have one instance, so I'm going to create another instance. Okay, it's free, so I'm going to name employee. I'm going to, okay, review. Okay, create instance. All right, so this is the instance that I just created. So these are the credentials. I'm going to copy this and on my VS Code I will paste it. Okay, so if you see this, basically this is the username, this is the password, and this is the local host, and this is the database name. So let's start from the back. So let's cut this, and in DB name, which is GORM right now, so let's paste it here. This is the host, so let's cut this and paste it here. And we are not going to use this @ sign, okay? So this Control X and paste it here on password. And this is going to be our username. Okay, that's it. So it's not a good idea to leave our credentials in our application. So we're going to cut this, and inside our .env we will do db_url equals, we'll paste this. But the one thing that we need to change will be the port number, and the port number is going to be 5432. And we can actually remove this time zone, and let's save it. 5432 is the port number of Elephant SQL. Okay, that's it. Let's save it and close this .env. And to get access to that .env's DB URL, let's go to our browser and .env. So if you see this line of code, os.git.env, let's copy this and let's paste it here. Instead of S3 bucket, it's going to be db_url. Let's import os, control period, and let's save it. Nothing, that is it for the database. Now once database is created and we have our models, we need to migrate. Okay, so to do the migration we have this, if you go inside our GORM documentation, there is a code which helps us do auto migration. Click on overview. Okay, here's the code for auto migration. So let's go here and create a folder for migrate, and let's create a, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let's add a file, migrate.go. Okay, and inside migrate, this migrate will take init function and main function. So if you go inside our main.go, it's going to be kind of similar to this. Okay, so it will have this init and it will have this main, and it will have the function initializers, this get environment variables, and database connection, everything. Okay, all right, let's go here and package main, because we will be using mains init and main. So and we will also use main function. Okay, now if you go here inside our main.go, we also need to add our database connection function. So initializers dot connect to db, and we will also be using this same inside our migration. Let's import this. Okay, so inside our main function we will be using this. Copy this and paste it here. Instead of db, we will be using initializers dot db. Okay, and auto migrate, and this will be employee. So if you go to employee models, this is the model name, and that's exactly what we are typing here. Okay, so just by employee it's not going to work because employee is inside the folder models. So I'm going to type models dot employee. Okay, now we need to import model. Okay, this should work. Yeah, it did. Okay, now let's save it. Let's do the migration. Okay, okay, our migration code is go run migration.go migrate.go, but migrate.go because our file name is migrate, but it's inside the folder migrate. Okay, so migrate slash migrate.go. Okay, now if you have Postgres, then it's okay, but I don't have one, so I'm using this table plus. It's free, you can use this too. So you can click this plus button and click this import from URL. Here you need to put the connection string. So ours is inside .env. So I'm going to just copy this and paste it. So I'm going to do import. Okay. Because of the commas, let's remove this. Okay, let's import. Okay, oh, let's do something like this. Okay, let's copy this. Yeah, it needs this Postgres and everything. Okay, and oh, let's paste it here again. Okay, and let's click on import. Okay, let's test the connection. Okay, and let's connect. So I am able to see this employee in table, and it has name and email exactly what I wanted. So we can confirm that our table has been migrated, model has been migrated. So now we need to work on our CRUD operation. Okay, let's create a folder named controllers, and inside controllers let's add a file employee.go. Okay, now we will be adding CRUD operation functions in here, but let's package controllers and let's go inside our main and let's see. So this is a GET request. That's why you were able to get this in a JSON format on our browser. This code is the response. Okay, so now we're going to just got everything. Now we are left with get slash, and here should be the function that will work on our get. Okay, so that function we're going to put inside controller. Let's paste it here. All right, after function we need to put the name of our function, get employee. Okay, and let's go inside our main.go file, and here you're going to do, first of all we need to save, otherwise save. Okay, let's import gene also, and okay, let's save this controller and let's import that controllers. Controllers dot get employee. Okay, let's save it. All right, let's work on this get employee part. Okay, so if you click on get employee, or let's do get employees, not just one employee, and here also you need to change to get employees. Okay, save it. So inside get employees, the response is going to be of var employees of type employee. Okay, and this employee is inside models folder, so models.employee, and let's import this model. It's giving this red squiggly line because we need to use this employees somewhere down in this code. We just declared it, but we will be using this shortly. Alright, so we are getting an array of employees, so let's add this array. Okay, now to get access to the databases tables, we are going to do initializers dot db dot find and inside find we're going to pass reference to employees here. Okay, so we'll be storing whatever we found, all the records inside this employees. So that's what it does. And now we are going to pass this employees as output. So paste this. So let's copy this and let's paste it here. And in this, just remove everything. Okay. Guess that should give us the entire list of employees. And I'd like to tell you about this C and this parameter as a whole. This when you use Gin framework, you're allowed to use this parameter, which is referencing to gin.context. Okay, so this context allows us to use these functions. So we are able to use this JSON function because of this gin context. We are also allowed to use parents function to get ID of that specific employee when we want to update or delete that employee. Okay, so that's what we are using, and that's what this is for, this whole C gin.context. That is the thing. All right, this should allow us to get access to employees, but the thing is that we don't have any employees yet. So let's add some employees by adding a function post employee, only employee, just one employee. So, and here inside the brackets we are going to copy and paste this context. Okay, and to post employee, so whatever will be posted, it's going to be employee, and employee is of type employee, and we cannot just put employee because it's inside the folder models, so it's models.employee always. Okay, and oops, we need to put these inside brackets. Okay, now let's use var body of type struct, and inside brackets we are going to add the fields. So we have name and email, right? Name of type string and email of type string. Okay, so now it's giving us this quickly run line because we have not used this anywhere. Now this thing, this line of code, what this does is, this is the body.request. So this is the request body. This is the data coming from the form sent by the user. So we are supposed to save this data in our database, post this. Okay, so to do that we need to bind whatever is inside this body in the context so that we can save it. Okay, so c dot bind, so it's this, using this context c from which is referencing to gin context, we are able to use this convenience function bind. So we are going to bind body, which will allow us to use name and email and save it. Okay, after binding this in body, we are going to go here on our GORM guides and let's see, click on this create because we are going to create. Now this is what we need. Let's just copy this and let's paste it. Okay, instead of user we're going to put employee, and this user is going to be the name of our model, which is employee. So model, so name, yes, we have a field name, but it's not going to be this static. We're going to make it dynamic. So body dot name. So see, by using this convenience function bind, using this context, we are able to get access to body, and this body has request data from the user, and here we're going to use email body.email. Okay, and now in result, instead of db it's going to be initializers dot db, and we're going to create employee. Okay, and let's see. Okay, and we need to check if result is, if just trying to copy paste the error message here. And let's save it. Okay, no new variable on left side of. Okay, it's saying we don't need this part. Okay, it's result.error. Let's copy this. Okay, this is how it's supposed to be. And so let's see what this is talking about. Okay, it's weird. You know what? It doesn't want me to declare it over here. So let's just remove this. Sorry about that. So we're just going to use employee over here. Okay, that should work. And let's save it. And if you go inside our main file, and we need to use post, so let's copy this, and it's going to be /employees. Instead of get, we're going to use post and employee, just one employee. And here, instead of controllers dot post employee, let's save it. Okay, let's open our Postman. So our port is 5000 for now. Okay, employee, I'm sorry. And we're going to post something. Let's click on body. Okay, let's try to post this. Okay, I can't see anything because I did not add JSON. I'll show you what exactly I'm talking about. So let's copy this. So once I posted something, I didn't see anything in here, right, in the body as a result. And if you do get, you should be able to see what I just posted. So employees, yeah, see, it's added, but you were not able to see when I posted. So employee, and let me post one more thing in. Okay, so just send. So you can't see anything. It's because you need to copy this and paste it down here, and this context JSON will help us show whatever we want to show in the browser. So we're going to post employee, Let's save it. Now let's post something, and you should be able to see what was exactly posted down here. I'm gonna put my name. Sorry about that. Okay, let's post it. Now you're able to see what I posted, right? Okay, now get and post actually works. Okay, we have 3 records until now. Now let's get an employee by their ID. Okay, let's just type everything. And inside we will be passing a parameter C context, which is pointing to gin.context, and open brackets. So when it comes to ID, we need to extract ID from the parameter. So to do that, we are looking for a variable employee of type employee, model.employee. Okay, so ID is equals c.param, not params, just param. Okay, and we're going to pass ID. That should give us the ID of that specific employee, because we are able to extract that ID because of this Gin framework's context. Okay, and we are able to use this convenience function param. That's why Gin is very powerful and easy to use. Okay, now that we have an ID, we need to work on getting that IM record which has that ID. So let's get inside our database initializers.db, and if you use this first function, this will give us the ID, and which will be stored in employee, and I'm going to pass ID. And I made a mistake over here. We need to put this semicolon here. Okay, so now that we have the record that we are looking for of that specific ID inside this employee, I'm going to copy this JSON and paste it here, and this employee, now this is all we need, I guess. Okay, and we need to add this inside our router, so let's copy this. Oops, sorry, let's copy this, let's paste it, and it should be get itself, not employees, just an employee with an ID, and this is going to be get employee by ID. Okay, let's save it. Okay, let's get our bread bit of ID2, employees slash 2, and get itself. Okay, okay, we have it here, because whenever you save something, you need to check if the server is restarting or not, because it just takes some time. Okay, now let's work on deleting and updating. Let's copy this, So to delete, it's delete, and to update, it's put. Okay. In order to delete, we need employee and the ID, and in order to update, we need employee and ID. So let's remove these by ID. Okay, instead of get, I'm going to use delete. And instead of get, update. And let's save it. This is red squiggly line because we have not used these functions on our controller. That's all. Let's copy this. Okay. Instead of get, we're going to use delete. Update. And let's save it. That squiggly line should be gone. Still not gone. Okay. Delete employee. Here, I made a typo. Let's save it. Now that should be gone. Okay, it's gone. Alright, to delete an employee, all we need is whatever we deleted. We need this ID that is pointing to the record that we need to delete, and we're going to store that record somewhere inside employee. And instead of first, we're going to just put delete. Okay, and inside this JSON, the result, we're going to use not that deleted data but the record. And let's save it. Let's see if it's working or not. It's restarting. And we will be deleting this let's delete the third record with my name. Okay, so it's only employee /3. Let's click on delete, and okay, the record has been deleted and it's working. Let's get employees. Let's add s, and let's see if we have, yes, we only have 2 records now. Now let's work on our update. So to update, we need this, and let's var body. We need body because we need the new updated data from the user. Okay, so body, and it's of type struct. Okay, inside body we're going to add fields, which is name and email. Name is of type string, and email is of type string as well. And we're going to bind this body with the context. So c.bind body. Okay, now we need to know which specific record needs to be updated. To get that specific record, we are going to use this param function and get the ID. And now what we will do is we will get that specific record first. So this is going to get us the specific record and store it inside employee. which is actually initialized over here. And now we are going to use the update function, update query, which is over here inside update in our GORM documentation. So go down just a little bit and you'll see updates multiple columns. So this first, let's copy this and let's paste it here. So instead of db, it's going to be initializers dot db, and instead of user, it's going to be employee. Okay, and instead of user, this is the model name. User is the model name for them, but ours is models dot employee. And instead of these static data, we're going to do body dot name, comma, and let's save it. And employee looks okay. All right, let's see if we are able to update or not. Let's give it a few seconds. Employee only, and we're going to update the first record, which has the data Angelina Jolie, and we're going to name it something else. Okay, this is what our new data should be instead of Angelina Jolie and all that thing. So okay, it's working. Now let's go to our Postman and click on send. Okay, it says it was able to update. Now let's click on get and make it employees, and let's send. And we were able to update the data from Angelina Jolie to John Smith. Okay, so this is working. Our CRUD operation is complete. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for my next video to consume this API in our front end using React.js. Thank you.